Peace and blessings, and welcome to another episode of Veterans Arts on Air. I am your host, Melvin A. Lyons, and today I have a special guest with me, Meosha Thomas, who is a Chicago native and retired from our Navy. So she currently is volunteering at the National Veterans Arts Museum, so we will get a chance to talk with her as the show goes on. How are you, though?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm great. It's been a great little month since the last time I was here, so
outstanding.
Got a lot of stuff that we're going to get into, and then you and I are going to talk a little bit about your experiences, your growing up here in Chicago, and a bunch of other things. So awesome. Looking forward to it.
I am too. Thank you.
So let's go ahead and start off as always with our recap, and of course the number is on the screen if you'd like to call in. So recently, the opening of a brand new exhibit this Memorial Day, we opened the Joe Bonham Project. The title Joe Bonham Project comes from the Dalton Trumbo's 1938 World War I novel, Johnny Got His Gun. It follows the life of a fictional character named Joe Bonham following a catastrophic wound suffered from some artillery blasts. Also, the exhibit aims to keep the dedication and sacrifices of the spirits of the wounded warriors present and accounted for, with more than 100 drawings and illustrations created during the time patients spent at the VA hospitals throughout the throughout the United States. Ooh, getting a little tongue-tied tonight. All right, the exhibit opened on Memorial Day and features works from 16 different artists. Some are seasoned war artists using a variety of different mediums. Oh, wrong one. Oh yeah, we're having a great time tonight. All right. Also, the May 2nd, the winter session of the After School Matters program at the National Veterans Arts Museum culminated with a showcase of its teens' artwork. The summer session for ASM will begin in July, and we encourage teens who are interested in making art and getting behind the scenes at the museum to apply through www.afterschoolmatters.org. On May 4th, the National Veterans Arts Museum was proud to host the annual Congressional Arts Competition. Many students submitted artwork spanning different genres. Congratulations to everyone who actually submitted artwork for that project. Let's see, what do we have coming up? Saturday, June 13th, Creative Community from 2 to 4. This one being titled The Very, Very Beginning Art. This will focus on introductory methods of art. Teaching artists will show you the basic art process, including drawing, collage, printmaking, while offering insight into ways of looking at and talking about artwork in our galleries. The workshop is free and open to the public, but there is a $6 suggested donation. Call out for summer volunteers. Looking for something to do this summer? Well, if you are and would like to share your skills with the National Veterans Arts Museum, come and be a part of this great artistic community. The National Veterans Arts Museum is looking for volunteers at any time of the year, but especially right now during the summer. If you are available and interested, please send an email to info@nvam.org, and we will show you what needs to be done in order to get you in and hanging out there at the museum. Right? Plus, there are also many other ways that you can actually help out, just spreading the word through social media, sharing pictures and tweets from actual visits there at the museum. So many of the things that we can actually do to get you guys involved at the museum this summer. I personally am looking forward to getting up there here pretty soon after my schedule dies down again. Like I say, it's been a busy, crazy couple of months, but I will be back as soon as possible, hanging out and volunteering at the museum as well. All right, so we've gotten through the old stuff, gotten through the new stuff. Now we get to go to one of my favorite parts, which is actually talking to the people who are here on the show with me. Right. For those of you who are watching out there, usually I meet my guests once they come to the studio. So I may get a little bit of background information on them prior to them actually getting here. Right. But just like you all who are watching out there, I am usually getting a lot of what I'm finding out about you all firsthand right here on the air. So looking forward to it. How about yourself?
I am too. We love surprises.
All right. I don't like surprises, but I learned to deal with them after a while. So let's go really quickly. We're going to run down. As you said, you grew up here in Chicago. All right. So which part?
I am from the south side of Chicago, Englewood, 59th and Halsted, born and raised.
Okay. All right. I actually don't live too far from there, out in the Auburn Gresham area myself, and did a lot of work out in Englewood. In fact, the show that I'm working on now kind of got a chance to meet some of the different organizations that are actually giving back in that Englewood area. So
awesome.
So yeah, that's a great neighborhood. I'm looking to see it actually become more vibrant in the near future here as well.
It's definitely up and coming now.
All right, definitely. So when did you join the military?
I joined the military in 2000. After I graduated high school, I went to Whitney Young as a way of trying to fund college, because growing up in Englewood, sometimes resources were limited. So I had to try to find my own way to pay for college.
All right. So once you got in, how long did you serve?
I served 10 years.
10? Ooh, wow.
Yes, 10 years.
You did better than me. I was done after the first contract. I don't want to play no more. I'm out.
I did 10 years, but I got hurt. I was supposed to do 20. I got hurt. And so I got medically retired from service as if I did 20 years.
Okay. All right. So what was your MOS, or what were you doing in the military?
So in the Navy, we don't call it MOS. We call it our rate. So my rate, my job in the military, I was IT, information systems technology. Okay. So pretty much I worked with computers, top secret equipment, kind of stuff you see on TV, the radar, the black rooms. That was me.
Oh, so they actually do that stuff.
Yes, we do.
It's funny, when I was serving in Iraq, I was stationed over at CENTCOM, so I saw a lot of that different types of stuff over there at one point. But when I was first coming up and looking at these commercials and things like that, my first thought was like, ain't nobody doing that stuff. Like, they making that stuff up. Ain't nobody sitting around in these rooms doing that stuff. So
it's very real, and it's very cold in those rooms.
I could imagine. Yes. I could imagine. But you know what? I don't mind the cold now, especially after Iraq. Me and the heat don't get along too well. So
exactly.
That's understandable. So what did you, aside from your education, what is something that you took away from your time in service?
I think the biggest takeaway for me was that I was a part of something greater. In the military, it's not focused on the individual. It's about the overall mission, the overall greater good. I learned not to be selfish and not to think about myself, to put my wants, needs, and desires to the side, to think about someone else. That there's a higher purpose for each of us other than what goes on in our lives.
Okay. All right. So now I got to ask you this then. With that, how did that help you transition back into your civilian life here?
Well, when I first came home, my transition was actually very difficult. I guess I was a success on paper because I had a job, I went to school, but the emotional part of it, coming home disabled, coming home to almost a foreign country. Right. I didn't know what Chicago was like. I had been away from 10 years, and I didn't really know what resources was out there. I just learned to persevere. I learned that, there's other people out there I need to connect with. I learned I created a mission for myself. My mission was to get through this transition. Okay. And I needed to do whatever I could and learn as much as I can in order to help make a better transition for myself. So definitely the military played a part in that, that perseverance, that, just accomplish the mission.
All right. Yeah, I've just got to say, I think that approach is one that I have not heard many people put it in that way. But like after being in the military, mission accomplishment being primary objective, right? To take your coming home and put that in that realm it's kind of like a bridging the two together. Like that's. It's an interesting way of looking at things. So
yeah, the military equipped us with a lot of skills that sometimes when you transition you forget about. we tend to isolate, and you forget that, you have these skills that you can use to better whatever position that you're in.
Absolutely. All right. So you have come back. So you're working successfully. You started volunteering and doing tours at the museum. So what prompted you to kind of get into that?
So when I came home, I went to school. I wound up graduating valedictorian. At this time, the governor had passed a law where all public schools had to have a full-time vet rep and a full-time veteran, opened up a full-time veteran center. And the president of the college was like, hey, you were valedictorian, you must know how to be a good student, so why don't you help other veterans be a good student? And at the time I needed a job. Right. So I was like, sure. And that sort of opened the door for me to get into the veteran community, to start advocating and start connecting with other organizations that advocate for veterans. So that's how I got involved with the National Veterans Art Museum. It started off as just a visit. Okay. And it's so powerful, the exhibits, that the next question is, wow, how can I be a part of that? And they had opportunities for veterans to be a part of that, to give tours, to learn about the art, and also to be able to speak to students and other groups about what it's like to be a veteran. The National Veterans Art Museum is an outstanding place to sort of help bridge the gap between civilians and military, to try to get this dialogue started of how can we better understand our veterans and how can we better assist our veterans.
Okay. All right. So now, since we got a little time here, we're going to get into some stuff.
Oh,
right?
I'm ready.
You said no surprise. You said you like surprises. So here we go.
Surprises.
So recently, since the last time I was here at the show, I actually went to Uplift Social Justice High School to speak to a group of students about my military experiences and some of the different things that I learned, some of the different things that happened over those years.
Right.
This is actually the second year that I did this. The reason I came in the first time is because the teacher at the school noticed that there is a Marine Corps recruiter that is there at the school on a weekly basis, if not daily. He's always there. And so he invited this man to come in and speak to these students. And of course, he gave them everything. It was all gung-ho, and this is what it is. It's the greatest opportunity in the world. This is what you do. So they called me up, or they actually called a group, the American Friends Service Committee, and said, hey, do you have anybody who could come and speak to our students that is out, and this, that, and the third? So they called me up. And now, I've been out for a while, and while some of the organizations that I worked with military have been anti-military, I've often said, I am not anti-military, but right. I also am pro-knowledge, meaning I am going to tell you the real about what it was, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to give you 100% honesty about it. So, went in and I'm telling these folks about, some of the different things that they tell you that were not necessarily true. So, my question to you, I guess, is this. If you were sitting in front of a group of students right now, and they asked you, their name, do you think the military would be a great opportunity, or it would be a great fit for them, for any of them in general? What would your response be?
I would say yes. When I tell my story, I tell the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. Because I agree, I want to give you as much knowledge as I can from my lens and my viewpoint, so you can make an informed decision. The next veteran may have a totally different story, but you need to talk to people that have been in, so you could kind of collect this knowledge and make an informed decision. I think the military is an awesome place for opportunities and benefits and experience, because outside of schooling, life is an experience, to go different places, to meet new people. And when I tell my story, and there's some bad in my story, but when I tell my story, they're all looking like, oh my goodness, like I don't want to join. And the last thing I tell them is, I wouldn't trade it. I would not change a thing, because it helped shape who I am. It helped build my character. It helped me to learn certain skills that maybe I would have gotten had I not went, but I'll never know that. And it opened up so many opportunities, like being at the National Veterans Art Museum or being here with you today. Absolutely. That I don't, take for granted. The military is like any other job. It has its highs and its lows, but it's the people that make it great. I don't know, and I'm biased, of course, but I don't know another organization that can bring so many diverse people together for a common purpose, and they excel. We do great things, and you meet great people, but it's not all roses, and it's not all a utopia and all smiles and everything. If you just think of the job was horrible. The conditions were horrible. Water rations, sleeping on the small bed, ships in the dirt. It's not a fun camping trip.
Lord, I can't stand camping now just because of that reason. No.
But the people make it great, and it's just to me, that was what the experience was about as well. Because if I have to regret my military experience, that means I have to regret the people I've met, or the places I've went, or the organizations like the National Veterans Art Museum that I had an opportunity to volunteer at or be a part of. I'm also a part of Alpha Gamma Xi military sorority. Most people don't know there are military sororities and military fraternities. The group of ladies I met there, or just being able to dialogue and share the experience and advocate for veterans and make it better. I think that's our purpose.
Okay. All right. I like that answer.
Thank you.
This is great. I'm having a ball here.
Yes.
We could have this conversation all day long.
I know. Turn off the cameras. We'll keep talking.
All right. We'll make that happen. But so I want to make sure we get a couple other bases covered. Your background as an artist, or do you have a background as an artist?
I actually do. I am a spoken word artist. And I dabble in painting, but I wouldn't claim artist on painting yet. That's another medium I'm trying to get into. But I do collages, a lot of collage work, vision boards. I even teach art classes and vision board classes. I work with After School Matters through the Gary Comer Youth Center as well. Teaching them leadership skills. But I believe in the arts. Actually, it was art therapy that helped me during my transition, more so than actually sitting down and talking on the couch to, a therapist and sharing my feelings. That didn't really work for me.
Not to say that there's anything wrong with that.
No, not to say. I'm just saying this is about experiences, but my experience, that wasn't the best for me. I had to find a fit. But art, it's to be able to express yourself through art, and people get it without you having to say anything, or I can write a poem and people can understand where I'm coming from and meet on the level that's beyond whether you're a veteran or non-veteran. We're just meeting on a human level where it's these universal themes that come through art. You get it. And that's what the National Veteran Art Museum brings. You go there, you walk around, you see the art. No one's speaking, but you get it.
Exactly.
You understand that connection. Like, I could feel that artist. I don't know who this artist is. I'll probably never meet this artist, but I can almost feel what they were trying to convey. And that's the beauty of art.
You got the story.
Exactly.
All right. Sometimes that's the best part about being an artist is that, because I agree with you, being an artist is, I think, the thing that keeps me as grounded as I am. That keeps me being able to go forward, because I can tell my story and I can just leave it there and say, you can take it if you want it. But
exactly. And take it how you want it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So, all right. And then lastly, any other organizations you're involved with right now?
Yes, so like I said, I work with After School Matters. I'm a part of Alpha Gamma Xi military sorority. I'm a part of the Women's Entrepreneurs of America. They have a Chicago chapter, Women's Veterans Interactive. Any veteran organization, really, I'm a part of it. But I even started my own organization, One Savvy Veteran, to assist women veterans in the Illinois area. I saw a lack of services for a particular group of veterans and decided to be the solution, because if you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
All right. Good to go. So, with that being said, we're going to go on to one of my favorite segments here, which is our Take 5. 5 people that you may not have known were military veterans. This month, our Take 5 comes from Pride Month.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into this. Up first, we have a young lady by the name of Kristen Beck, author of Warrior Princess, a U.S. Navy SEAL's journey to coming out transgendered. Beck attended Virginia Military Institute from 1984 through 1987. Served 20 years in the U.S. Navy SEALs before her transition and took part in 13 deployments, including 7 combat deployments. Wow. Beck was a member of the United States Naval Service Warfare Development Group, known as DEV Group, a special counterterrorism unit popularly called SEAL Team 6. Her awards include Navy SEAL Trident, Bronze Star with V, Purple Heart, Defense Meritorious Service Award with 1 Oak Leaf Cluster, Joint Service Commendation Medal, Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal with V and Star, Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Ribbon with 3 stars, just to name a few. She is currently running for office in Maryland's 5th Congressional District. And then we've got Harvey Milk, American politician who became the first openly gay person to be elected to public office in California when he won a seat on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors in 1977. Joined the U.S. Navy during the Korean War. He served aboard a submarine rescue ship as a diving officer. He later transferred to the Naval Station San Diego to serve as a diving instructor. In 1955, he was discharged from the Navy with the rank of Lieutenant Junior Grade. On November 27, 1987, Milk was assassinated along with then Mayor of San Francisco by fellow city supervisor Dan White. Milk was 48 years old. And next, we've got Jennifer Pritzker. In 1974, Pritzker enlisted in the U.S. Army, serving in the 82nd Airborne Division of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, where she rose to the rank of sergeant. In 1979, she was commissioned a second lieutenant in the 101st Airborne Division at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I lived there at one point. And then served with the 7th Corps at Kelly Barracks, Germany. She completed active duty in 1987. She then served 16 years in the Army Reserves and Illinois Army National Guard. In 2001, after retiring, she was promoted to the honorary rank of colonel in the Illinois Army National Guard. And up next, we've got Christine Jorgensen. Born George William Jorgensen Jr. on May 30th, 1926 in the Bronx, New York, Jorgensen was drafted into the U.S. Army for World War II. After being discharged in 1946, she made the decision to transition into a woman. Traveled to Copenhagen, Denmark. Although not the first to undergo transition surgeries and treatment, she became the first widely known trans woman in the U.S. While being publicly ridiculed in the media, Jorgensen used her instant celebrity status to advocate for transgender issues. And lastly, we have Tammy Smith. In 2002, Army Reserve Officer Smith was promoted to Brigadier General. Less than a year after Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed, Smith publicly acknowledged being gay during her promotion ceremony, making her the first openly gay general in the U.S. military, as well as the highest-ranking public military figure.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's crazy. All right. Well, with that being said, ladies and gents, again, thanks to my co-host, Meosha. It's been a pleasure.
As well as yourself.
All right. We definitely got to sit down and conversate again. And as for you out there, hopefully I'll see you again next month. But if not, peace and many blessings. I'm out of here.
Good night.